Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris Gentry with My Service Area Happy Cans, back with another video. I know it's been a while since I've recorded one, and I apologize, but I've got a guest tonight in the bin cleaning world for all you bin cleaners and guys and gals out there that are thinking about getting into the business. I think this you'll find some value. And so, with me tonight is Josh. Josh, I'll turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself. Just a minute.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about cleaning dirty trash cans. I never would have thought in my almost 37 years on this planet that I would be so excited about dirty trash cans and just, to be talking about them. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm right now in Easton, Pennsylvania, looking to get started the next few months here.
Awesome. All right. So tell everybody, what is the name of your business?
Lehigh Valley Bin Cleaning.
Okay.
The Lehigh Valley is sort of an area of Pennsylvania that's it's about an hour north of Philly. It's a pretty large area with a lot of residential homes.
Gotcha. That's a good start. So yeah. I'm sure they're going to be, I think both of us are part of the same Facebook groups, and I've been in the can cleaning business just over 2 years now. And so I think a lot of people are going to find some value in tonight's show and talking with you and the steps that you're taking, the equipment that you're going to be using, and the systems that you're going to be using. But first, how in the world did you find bin cleaning? And what made you jump off that cliff and say, I'm going to do this?
So I hate to say it, but it was from TikTok. I got hooked on TikTok at the beginning of COVID. The amount of hours I've spent on that app is unbelievable. But one day September,
let me guess, you saw one of Casey's TikTok.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yep. And his energy is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it just, the whole thing sounded fascinating to me. I've always wanted to own my own business, and I've always wanted something. I always liked the idea of like a franchise or something that's like kind of established, and I started researching it. And I was like, this is something I'll get out there. I'll drive a truck around. This, sounds great. And I just kept digging in and just learning more and realizing that this is a real thing. This is a huge industry compared to at least what I thought it was.
So when you said you started digging around, what are some of the resources that you use to do your research on the industry and opportunity there in your market?
I looked at other TikToks, other people's accounts, trash bin cleaning. I just searched for the service, didn't find anything around near me. And then started on starting a business, which brought me to Sparkling Bins. And then I dived into their YouTube channel. I watched every YouTube video that they put up, and then all kinds of other videos from people that are out there, with legitimate equipment running a trash can cleaning business. And
right.
There's a lot of stuff.
So you went with a Sparkling Bins unit?
I did, yeah. So it was Sparkling Bins. I talked to them a little bit the beginning of December last year, and I actually flew down, record-setting trip. I was in Florida for less than 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
But I had questions. I ask a lot of questions. I like details, and I really wanted to understand what I was getting myself into. And so I flew down and met with John Conway from Sparkling Bins. I spent the entire day with him. We went over equipment, how it works, how the business is structured, things that work, things that don't. And my scenario, from what I've gathered, is kind of unique for people that get into this industry. A lot of people are doing this, they take an early retirement, or, they got a spouse at home that makes a good income and they decide to start this on the side, something like that. I live alone. I'm the only one paying my own bills. So starting this up was going to be a little different scenario, and it came out of nowhere. So I didn't really plan for it financially or anything like that. And I worked with them, and they, helped me figure out the best way to go, how to go about doing it. It was a great experience. I spent 6-7 hours there. John took me out for lunch. It was a great time.
That's great. That's great to hear. Did you go to the conference down there?
And I did, yeah. And then I flew back down to go to the conference. I had just a week and a half before maybe had actually signed the paperwork, put a deposit down on the trailer, and then was sort of a last minute add in for that conference.
Gotcha. Now, so let's take a step back. What are you doing now? What's your day job now?
I do in-home sales for gutters and gutter protection.
Okay.
So I've been doing sales for a couple of years now, which I think is definitely going to help me in trying to, break into this business, because it's not only are we selling a service, but we also have to sell the idea of having someone come out and clean your trash cans. It's a new thing for most people.
Gotcha. Now, when are you supposed to take delivery of your unit?
Estimated like middle of September. Obviously, the world's sort of a crazy place, which I'm getting a trailer. Just financially, it's what worked. We're getting a trailer unit. So there's a chance if there's truck shortages, maybe I get it sooner, but the way everything has been, it's hard to say. But right now we're looking at September.
Gotcha. So now let's talk about that. So you've got a pretty good window between the time that you signed the paperwork and the estimated delivery date. I know you already have your website up. So what are things now that you're doing that are going to put you in a good position when the trailer lands and you're ready to clean that first bin? Can you walk us through what your mindset is and some of your ideas from a marketing standpoint and what you're executing on now to set you up for success?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, this is an industry that's very new. The concept that most people in a lot of places haven't really heard of. So we had a lot of time from order to delivery, and I got antsy. And I was like, I need to work on this. I need to do something. I need to make progress. Right. And it's actually a slippery slope. I was like, you know what? I'll make a Facebook page. 3 weeks later, I've got a Facebook page now, which also with an Instagram tied to it. I put posts out there quite regularly. What I did was in conjunction with Sparkling Bins, I got a logo designed. I actually, once the logo was designed, went back to them and had them make other images kind of based on my logo. So I ended up with a couple different things, and I actually had one of them turned into a 15-second video clip, which is really cool. Looks great on the website. Once I started rolling with that, I was like, well, I'm going to do some marketing. Let's build out a wait list. Everybody kind of talked about building out a wait list. I talked to some guys a couple weeks ago that were getting their trailer a week later and didn't have anything set up yet. And I had anxiety for them. My whole thought was like, you want to get as much information out there as possible.
Yep.
And just keep getting people aware of this. This is a thing. People pay to have their trash cans cleaned, and we're going to be doing it, and here we are. So I put out a lot of Facebook posts. I've taken a little bit of like Sparkling Bins content. I've taken a little bit of, with permission, I've taken a little bit of stuff that I found for like news articles, put them into Facebook posts, made some images myself. I'm a master with Microsoft Paint. So making just different images to show before and after, and getting that stuff out there and growing, a Facebook business page. Biggest thing, make sure it's a business page, and just getting a following. And every day I get a new follower or two, or people that I have no idea who they are, that start following and liking the page, commenting on posts, sharing posts. I also jumped onto Nextdoor, sponsored a couple local zip codes on Nextdoor, just to help reinforce getting it out there. My theory was people need to see it in more than just one place. It can't just be a Facebook page. So people need to see it pop up on Nextdoor again. They go, oh, I've seen that. Then maybe they see it on their Instagram. And then I've done a little bit with Google, just try to spread out the information.
Well, that goes, to the rule of thumb, it's 7 or 8 touches before somebody pulls the trigger, right?
Exactly.
They make a buying decision. So it sounds like you've really put some thought into this, and you are really executing your game plan as far as getting your name out there, building brand awareness, educating the market on bin cleaning. So when the rubber hits the road, you're going to be collecting money and cleaning cans and collecting money, I should say, and not searching for that first client.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when the trailer lands, the expenses start. You know, I'm financing the trailer. I'm financing a pickup truck to tow it.
Yep.
As soon as I need insurance, as soon as that trailer gets here, my expenses go through the roof. My plan was to try to have as many customers in place to cover those expenses. And that's really where everyone, I think, should start. You and I have talked about it. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. I had a spreadsheet, everything figured out. What am I looking at for expenses? You know, if I finance a trailer, and I buy a truck, and what's insurance going to cost? And then I figured out, okay, how many customers do I need to break even, to make a profit, to have an idea of really where you need to be, and of course, how much you can spend on marketing. There has to be a solid plan.
Yeah. So the kind of off topic. Well, it's the bin cleaning topic, but that spreadsheet that I sent you, did you find any value in that?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. One of the things that I haven't exactly been able to pinpoint is how much is it going to cost me to actually go to a customer's house?
Right.
Like, how much does it actually cost to clean a single can? You know, John Conway spitted out a number off the top of his head that how much it cost him to clean a can. I was like, I need to figure that out.
Right.
And that definitely helps trying to figure out the mileage. And I would love to at some point chat with you a little bit more about that and see how we can build it out, a hypothetical version of it as well for future forecasting.
Yeah.
That's the big thing is that spreadsheet will be an invaluable tool getting started in figuring out, you know, how much gases am I going to need? How much wear and tear, how much pay for an employee, how much, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because it adds up, and not knowing your cost will kill folks in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's a spreadsheet that I've used, and I built it when you know, I started figuring out territories and using my service area, and just especially since gas has gone through the roof, you know, really understanding how much more that I'm spending, you know, a month on gas. I mean, I can see the end dollar amount, obviously, but just relating that to stops.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is trying to figure out what is that actually going to cost me per stop, and then trying to work it backwards to, well, how many stops am I actually going to have?
Right.
And try to figure out how much money do you have to have. They talk about the statistics of small businesses that fail.
Oh, yeah.
The number one reason is being underfunded.
Yep.
Underfunded. So I have an investor with deep pockets. So hopefully we can really make the distance. But, you know, that's something I worry about. Every time I click boost on a Facebook ad, I'm like, that's $75 I just spent. I hope it gets there. That's the thing, is you have to really understand, like, what is it going to cost? Everybody says it's not a get rich quick thing. When you put it on a spreadsheet, you realize that, you know, 100 customers, it's going to cost me $35 per person to clean them. Yeah. You know, you really have to know that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about, you know, from your websites and the systems that you're going to be putting in place. So now, what did you build your own website? If so, what platform are you using? Is it WordPress, Wix, Squarespace?
Yeah, so I built a website, part of the Sparkling Bins package. One of the main reasons I went with them, I mean, I've heard phenomenal things about their service and their product and everything, but I really wanted a package that is sort of handed to me that I could just work with. They would build a website. That, I think, comes a little bit closer to equipment delivery. In order to build a wait list, which was one of my goals from the beginning, I said, I have to have a place for people to go.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I'll build a little website. And again, that was a slippery slope. There's now 6 tabs on my website and all kinds of pages. I used Wix. It's fairly simple. It took a little bit of time. I'm a little neurotic. All the colors have to match. Everything has to be centered perfectly. So it took me longer probably than normal, but it came out, I think, fantastic. I tweak it a little bit constantly, but it looks great. I don't think it looks like something that, you know, a salesman built sitting on his couch, you know.
Have you already set up a Google My Business page?
I did, yeah. So Google My Business is all set up. That's something you want to do earlier, rather than later, because it takes forever to get set up. It took a couple weeks for it to get set up, and then it took another month for me to actually show up. When I typed in Lehigh Valley bin cleaning, something else was showing up. It took almost a month for my business to actually pop up there. But yeah, that's all set up. Like I said, we did the Nextdoor, and I set up Yelp which I would recommend everybody just avoid.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better. I got excited. I started signing up for things. Yelp is a nightmare. I wouldn't even mess with it at this point.
Now they're calling you 2 or 3 times a day, every day, huh?
It's yeah, and you can't choose your pictures. I uploaded pictures and it puts the worst picture first. And no matter what I do, I can't get it to work. I haven't even touched it in a while.
That service is truly a pay to play.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's. I've heard nightmares where people have been held hostage.
Yeah, I avoided it at all costs.
So I know this is a little bit early, but what CRM scheduling routing system are you looking at, or have you already made a decision on?
So I have not officially made a decision, but odds are I'm going to use it's MyRoute Pro, I think it's called. It was presented at the Sparkling Bins conference. I nerded out over all the things that it can do, and it sounds like it's all in one type thing. Probably not the least expensive option out there. My thing is I just want to do it right from the beginning.
Right.
Everything done right from the beginning so that everything just flows and works.
Yeah, I know. I probably, a lot of people that watch this will be interested in hearing how that works out, because, that always in the Facebook group seems to be a hot topic, that what CRM are you using? I'm sick of Jobber. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. What is somebody else using? And so there's always conversations around, what's the best CRM out there for this industry? I don't think there's a silver bullet in any type of software out there. I think you need to determine, does this solve 70, 80, 90% of my needs? And, the other 30, 20, 10% are those things that I can find workarounds and still keep me efficient. So I definitely, I'm very curious about that system, since they launched it, because I've heard about it for a while and excited to see that it's finally hitting the market. So definitely have to keep you abreast of that, because I know people probably have questions as well.
Yeah, I haven't, and it's not something, I guess I have plenty of time. I haven't really gotten into that yet.
All right.
The most interesting thing about when they presented was how many things you talked about, does it hit 70 or 80% of the things? I didn't even know what all the things were.
Right. You don't know what you don't know yet, right?
Right. Like, and it does this. And I was like, that's not even a thing I knew that I needed to do.
Right.
So that kind of opened my eyes. So that's something when I get a little closer, I do want to do a little more research on. It's like I said, I just want to do it right from the beginning.
Yeah. So we met because you signed up for my service area, and we connected immediately and had some conversations. So this is why I thought it would be great to hear, your story, because you haven't even launched yet. So,
yeah,
I want to understand, why you signed up for my service area and how you're using it with your wait list. And then, how do you see yourself using it once you go live?
Yeah, so I came across a YouTube video, I guess similar to this one, with another can cleaning company somewhere. In a lot of times when I'm working on my website, I'm just watching YouTube videos about can cleaning, just trying to learn anything that I possibly can. And so then I started looking into it, because service area is something that I've been kind of questioning. Is my service area too small? How big should it be? Where should I be looking to go with different things? So, and after, talking to you about it, and I kind of messed around with it a little bit online, I said, this gives me a really solid idea of where my customers are coming from, or at least at this point, my wait list signups are coming from, and making sure that those people are in the places that I want to be. I look to expand. After our last conversation, I was in this little kind of area. There's tons of homes in that area, nothing wrong with that. But the response rate I've been having, I decided to kind of expand. But as I'm looking to expand, there's this area in the Lehigh Valley where it's city surrounded by suburbs. I'm like, I don't know that especially with the truck and trailer, I don't really want to be in the center of this city.
Right.
I've seen those alleyways. I don't want to do it. So
right.
one of the big things for me was, and my map kind of looks like Pac-Man because it's all the circling area around those cities. And then I had somebody check it the other day because I like to go in and look. Like, oh, who's checked their address? And somebody was out of territory and they were 750 feet over the line where I drew the map. And I was like, you know what? I just didn't think about it, but then I looked and I said, there's housing developments there. Let me just bump this out so a little bit further because it's only another 3 minutes, and capture those types of people just to make sure that they're in there. And obviously, being able to have someone, oh, you're not in our area, put down your email, helps out tremendously because I've captured them on some level.
Yep.
I'm eventually going to take over, mark my words, I'm going to take over Pennsylvania in the trash can cleaning business. I want those names for somewhere down the road. Even if it's 2 years from now, it's the email, hey, we're in your area now.
Well, I mean, that's like the discussion we had when you first signed up, we were talking about building out your territory and such, is that you're in a unique position where your territory, you can make it big, right? Because you haven't launched yet, but you can make it big and start collecting those addresses. And the great thing with MSA is it's going to drop a pin so you can visually see all that information. And so when it comes time to start figuring out your routes and who you're going to say yes to, who you're going to say no to. I mean, if you've got a group of 10 over here that, just like your example, that were, 700 feet off the line, that you could extend it out. And now you've got a new territory where it makes, financial sense to service that. So that's pretty cool to see, because like this business, we have a lot of lawn care people using MSA now as well, but it's all about efficiency, right? How efficient can you be in your business? And efficiency equates to time. How much time can you save? So is the map, when you take a look at the MSA map, does that always get the kind of the wheels turning? Where are you making adjustments every time you look at it?
Every single time. I might only move a pin what equates to a less than a mile, but moving things around and just seeing like, where are people putting in an inquiry, what is a housing development? Oh, okay, so these are housing developments, but then this kind of gets a little tighter city streets. Okay, I'll draw the line, around this way. And I've when you first looked at it, you're just like, oh, these lines are too straight. And now, if you looked at it, there's nothing is straight anymore. It all kind of wiggles around to try to figure out what areas that I want to stay out of, especially with the trailer. And what areas have better housing developments and what's close. I will go I have Google Maps open on another tab, and I will bounce back and forth from Google Maps and literally put in, okay, this is here. This is where the trailer's parked. And I'll Google map the distance. Like, oh, that's only 8 minutes. I can do that. Or it's 12 minutes. We can fit that in. And then I go back and I make a little adjustment. And then, keep tweaking as I go, trying to figure it out. I'm also excited to use that to get a good idea, like you said, oh, I got a cluster of pins in this neighborhood. Maybe that's the neighborhood where I will dump extra mailers. Say, hey, your neighbors are getting their trash cans cleaned. You should too. And use that to help with some of the marketing efforts as I get closer to launch.
Did you just hear me scream at my kids?
I didn't hear you scream at your kids. I saw you scream. I just shooed the cat off the table. I'm like, don't.
Oh, my kids. You tell everybody to give me 30 minutes of quiet, and World War III breaks out outside my door.
We made it 27 minutes. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
You did pretty good.
I appreciate it. So to be mindful of your time, what advice do you have for the person out there that's looking to get into this business, or maybe just recently pulled the trigger on a piece of equipment, or maybe even a month ago pulled the trigger on a piece of equipment? What would you say to them right now?
Learn everything that you can about two things. Number one, about this industry specifically, but number two is about online marketing. I listen to audiobooks about online marketing constantly. learn everything that you possibly can and keep track of everything. I've got tabs and bookmarks for every website, for mailer websites I've looked at, to the lawn signs, all different kinds of things that I think could be interesting. And I just keep diving in. What can I get for free? I started out with a free MSA trial, messed around with it, said, great, now I'm signed up. I just did the same thing with a QR code service 10 minutes before we started this. Just trying to say, like, what stuff is out there? What resources are available? What kind of marketing things am I going to want to do? But I'd say that after that is start with Facebook. 85% of my leads on my wait list, I think I'm up to 73 people now, is Facebook.
Awesome work.
So thank you. Yeah, it has done very, very well, better than I had expected. Get started. It's never too early to start. You don't have to spend money either. I might have spent money a little sooner than I should have, but whatever. It's only money, right? We'll make some more. It'll happen.
Right.
But get it out there. Get your friends to follow, share posts, just start building momentum in some of those things. But go on YouTube, search trash can cleaning, watch the YouTube videos, hear what the people are talking about, what they're saying. Join in these Facebook groups. There's a ton of them out there. Just take everything with a grain of salt. You and I talked about this the other day. Somebody will post how much they love something, and how much they love using direct door mailers. And then the next person is how much they hate direct door mailers.
Right.
Take everything with a grain of salt, average it all out together. But people have asked questions that have gotten my wheels turning. How can I do that? Somebody's talking about QR codes on there. That's what made me look up QR codes. How do I get one? I got a free service. Just keep researching, keep learning, and have a plan. Have a plan, have things lined up so that you know what you need to do, when you need to do it, get that stuff together. Don't just jump in. I've met some guys that were, like I said, getting their equipment soon and had never heard of Google My Business.
Yeah.
And get out there, do the research, watch this video twice, get every piece of information that you possibly can together, and just learn and keep track of everything. I have notebooks full of notes of things to do, a to-do list of things. I keep track of ideas for Facebook posts. If I'm driving in the car and I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool Facebook post, I use the hands-free and I said, add whatever to my list. Just keep track of things and just keep putting the effort into it. I come from sales. In sales, the number one rule is you get out what you put in.
Right.
You can't just get a piece of equipment and go.
Well, you have shared some awesome information. Like I said earlier, I hope that somebody finds value in this. I truly believe that you have shared some good, valuable insight ideas for those that are new to this industry or even researching this industry. I think there's a huge opportunity in this industry. I truly believe in it. People that are in it right now, or even some of the big guys out there, are still the ground floor. I don't know about your market, but in my market, there's already 3 or 4 of us. We all get along. We all help each other want to succeed. There's millions of trash cans out there, and there are millions that are dirty that could benefit from our service. So, guys, if you're thinking about the trash can cleaning business, take a good look. Listen to what Josh has shared tonight with everyone. I think the big key takeaway that I have, and what I was very impressed when I spoke to Josh the first time after he signed up for MSA, was he's taking action now, even though he has months before he's going to get his trailer. So all these things that he's investing time in now and money now are going to set him up for success when that trailer hits his front door and he's ready to go. So really take that information to heart when you're looking at this business or any other business. You've got to market yourself before the lights come on, so to speak. So, Josh, tip of the hat to you. Like I said earlier, very impressed with what you're doing. I know that we'll be continuing to build a great working relationship, and it's going to be awesome to watch you just crush it.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I told you, I'm gonna take over Pennsylvania.
Well, you'll have me watching you, and I'm sure a lot of others taking notice when they start seeing, you got one trailer, and then all of a sudden the next vehicle's a truck, and you're everywhere, which is awesome. Josh, thanks a million for taking the time to jump on with us tonight. Where can if somebody wants to reach out to you and maybe ask you some questions or pick your brain, where how can they get in touch with you? Or where can they find you?
So my email is info@L as in Larry, V as in Victor, bincleaning.com.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, guys. Be glad to, I'll take all the help I can get. I'd be glad to help anyone that has any questions, things that I've done so far.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for watching another episode. It was a good one. And thanks for all the support. We'll talk soon. See you guys.